Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Hey, it's me.
I'll
I have 2 grandchildren, and they call
I'll
me.
lead you in.
Okay.
Oh, Amanda, go get coconut and go upstairs.
Good morning, Gloucester. We're here with the probably, well, not probably, but absolutely the most famous person we've ever interviewed. A man that anybody over the age of 30 knows.
Maybe
Definitely.
40.
40, you think?
I was in 1980 to 90, so
Yeah.
they had to be 10 years old to get my jokes. Let's just say that 1980. That makes them 40-something now.
I'm here with Gallagher. And Gallagher, anybody I guess over 40, would recognize you from the...
But they can go on YouTube and see my videos. I got 5 pages of videos on YouTube.
And as far back as the Merv Griffin show, that shows how long you've been around.
Whoa, you remember Merv? He was the best host of all. He'd talk to you. I was just on Dave Letterman because he heard about my heart attack and everything. He didn't come to my dressing room before the show. I thought he'd drop by, but what it was is he wanted to apologize for stealing Sledge-O-Matic from me and throwing watermelons off of buildings when he first got to New York. He knew he was doing me, and he just thought I'd never go anywhere, and he was the big, powerful guy, and he'd just steamroll my career. That's what he did. He doesn't care about anybody.
You mentioned heart attack. You said you had 4 heart attacks. What are the chances, what are you pegging your odds that someone would actually be able to see a heart attack on stage in Beverly this Saturday night?
I would say 1 out of 8.
1 out of 8? Oh,
Yeah.
that would be good stuff. But make sure we have cameras there.
Oh
We're going to have cameras there?
Oh, you're gonna?
Because that would be big.
Okay, bring it.
All right, the cameras.
I want to die that way and not, because I do a lot of embarrassing things, and I keep thinking to myself, what if I died now? And then they'd have to report, well, he died the way he lived, laying under a truck, trying to light a joint using the axle because it blocked the wind. But sometimes I'm in situations where, it'd be embarrassing for the whole world to know, and I could die doing that.
Yeah, well, there's way more embarrassing things than dying on stage.
Oh, I do them, but I just wanted to use that one example because I was underneath that truck and I thought, what do they think? Why was I under the truck? But I work a lot of different places that aren't really theatrical. They'll just put up a stage anywhere and make it into theater and make it magic. It's amazing.
Speaking of theater, how did you convince, back in the day, you're doing Sledge-O-Matic, how did you convince theater owners to allow you to demolish their places?
Well, here's the deal. If you get rid of your agent and manager and you just rent the place yourself, then there's no adults there for the show.
They ruined everything.
I got rid of the adults. No, we put plastic on the chairs and I made sure they didn't take the plastic off. You hear my tone? That's how I deal with the kids. We're going to have the most fun we can safely without ruining anything.
Yeah.
And I've done over 3,000 shows.
That's amazing. And the creativity, how is it, you just showed me your iPad.
Yeah.
You told me you had 200 pieces that you have created recently. How important, do you get, as a creator,
Yeah.
do you get depressed if you're in a rut and you're not creating? Does your mind go crazy?
No, that doesn't happen with me. I got into comedy as a way of getting, publishing my jokes and my poem. All my shows have a poem in it. One of them had a poem about water. One had a poem about the whales. That was a good one. How did that go? One night I was walking on the beach, that's what I found. Out of the waves come a humpback whale jumping up and down. Then come a herd of finback whales and a gang of killers too. Then wouldn't you know, the she blows, the whale in charge was huge. And I was talking about the whales. That was in my 2nd show. You can see it on YouTube, I think. There's a poem in all of them. Or a song. I did one, Don't Kick My Tires If You Ain't Gonna Drive Me Home. That was a good one. But I worked with Jim Stafford at the very beginning of his career and helped him on his songs. We had one about homosexuals, My Girl Bill. You can go on iTunes and you can find it. Wildwood Weed, and then he had a big hit, Spiders and Snakes, and actually Bruce Springsteen opened for him back in those days, and I was his road manager. And so I've been into funny songs from the very beginning.
You moved to Tampa, your formative years were in Tampa, is that right?
No, in Ohio.
Ohio?
Yeah.
But you seem like a hippie. Like, what,
I guess I am.
if I had to guess, it would have been Southern California. But where would you say your most influences came from?
Well, dodging the draft and smoking dope. And I was doing that in Florida, but I felt connected to the demonstrators in California. So as soon as I graduated from college, 69, I went out to LA.
Yeah, there you go. What, in this day and age, I don't understand how a comedian can like, the political correctness and the sensitivity, overly sensitive, like the way people are. I don't understand how a comic finds, like...
Oh, I just say what I want to and then they complain. That's why I don't have a Facebook page that I go to. There's some business people that have Facebook pages for me, but it just gives a forum to people who want to complain about something, and it is terrible about everything.
You know the lady that had a midget son, and she complained about the classic midget pickle, and they took the midget pickle off the pickle jar that's been on there for like a bazillion years. That's how sensitive like the world has become. So I don't understand, like for a comedian.
But wait a minute, now you'd only take it off if the pickles complained. The pickles would have to complain. You can't. What she's saying is my son is a midget, and I don't like these pickles saying anything about it. But the pickles should say, look, we were midgets first, and they're just using that name on you.
That's right.
See, I could never be president. Every day I'd say something that would irritate another voting bloc, and I'd lose them all eventually.
But I don't understand, like, Don Rickles and these people.
Their cake is so good.
Thank you.
They could say whatever they wanted to say, and they had carte blanche. I don't understand how, like, who gets to decide what's right and who's wrong.
Right, because I don't get to make... I was watching Spider-Man and he does a gay joke. He says to this guy who's dancing something like, oh, where'd you learn that from? Your husband? And you're supposed to laugh just because he said he was gay, and really nothing clever about it. And I get in trouble with the gays all the time, and at least I tell clever gay jokes.
There you go.
But I'm just including them. Don't the gays want to be included?
There you go. It's
Well,
all about equality right there.
Oh, I've got black jokes that I love, and handicapped jokes. I want to include everybody.
No, you're not, equal.
I'm a joke teller.
That's it. So
why did they get that? I'm not running for Congress.
I'm with you.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem is they'll take a video of you in a nightclub, in a funky place, and then they'll play it in a la-di-da place, and of course it's not appropriate there. But I'm in a bar in Oklahoma, and now you're going to...
Isn't this what, like, I think it's kind of a betrayal of a comedian to say that you can't do these jokes. Like, this is the whole idea of what, it's satire, it's jokes, it's cleverness, but they try to, like, pigeonhole all of society into making everybody vanilla, and it's just like, it seems like...
Except that, well, the sitcoms all have a gay character.
Yeah, I noticed that. There you go.
I don't know.
So
So I just don't do it anymore.
It's not worth it, right? The aggravation.
Right, I've been writing about animals lately. I've got a really good penguin poem. I have a whole children's book. I'm going to try to find an illustrator, and I think I did. I was staying up here in Rockport at the Emerson, and I had a bed that looked right out on the Atlantic, and I thought I'd go and see the sculptor in the area in Wickham?
Williams.
No, it's a little Everett. In Everett, and a guy that was working there, he says, oh, I'm an artist, and I'm a computer animator, and so I gave him the poems, and he's going to do it. It's just magical up here. I'm meeting people. Last night at the Rum Line, I met a drummer, and he lives 4 blocks from the theater, and he's going to come and go ba-dum-bump for my jokes. It's going to be great. And then we're going to have...
Do you need any food for backstage? I'll come to the show too.
I've got seats for you. We've got half a house. I'm trying to sell the other half of the house. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give away this shirt. I just ordered 300. They're going to be delivered today. I'm going to give away a shirt to everybody who buys a ticket from this point on.
That's very generous.
Signed, right?
Well,
You're an autograph.
it's about $2,000.
Yeah, holy mackerel. You know, today it seems like comedians are racing, like every comedian feels like they have to have their own podcast. Do you think that the internet has done to comedy what it has done to the music? Because does anybody do albums anymore?
Well, they're calling my recent thing an album. You can find it on SoundCloud or Pandora or Spotify. I'm with it. Hey, I may look old, but I'm cutting edge.
Does it hurt the industry or does it help it?
It helps it because these executives work out of fear. When they're making a decision, just like you said, somebody's going to complain and I want to sell them soap and a car and a refrigerator, and so let's